Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick rundown for the how to do the smoke and the liquid blood stuff. So the dust hits is just this VDB gunfire smoke pack. The blood is liquid gen. I'll go through that after. So for the dust hits slash gun smoke, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty simple. You just choose where you want it, import it, like choose the first frame, and then you'll come over to here, here, sequence, turn it on, and then make sure you check how many frames are in this. This one in particular is 24 frames in total. So you'll check that 24, and then right here the start, you'll put where you want the dust hit to start in your sequence. So where I want it to play is frame 60, so it'll play on frame 60. A weird thing is you can't use the same file for two separate dust smokes. So if you want to do that, I suggest doing what I did here and just duplicating the folder and just adding a .1 or whatever to the end of it so that you can use the same dust hit twice in the same animation if you need to. There's 14 versions, so you can go about it how you want there. But that's how I did the dust hits. For the blood, it's not too hard. It can be a little tricky at first, but this is liquid gen, and this is just a really basic scene that I set up. So what I pretty much did is that they have some samples that you can start off with. There's some good ones, like there's a good blood splat one here that you can tinker with. Looks really cool. But I couldn't find one that that was tailored to what I needed, so I just went and built my own. So this is what you just normally start with, is just this like pouring scene. So what you have to do is just you just have to tinker with stuff. Like, I deleted the drain because I didn't need it, and I'm not too familiar with it. Like, I'm very surface level with this, so like, when I was making the blood for the character, I was learning things as I was going and just kind of like moving the sliders around to see what works. So I don't need this primitive here for the collider. I need my character. So what you would do is you'd go right here to shapes and drag it off, and then import. And what you want to do is you want to export your animation as an Alembic. So just select all your geo and do what you got to do. Export it as an Alembic, and then put the file path here. Choose it, and it'll import your animation. And then down here, right here in the animations, master scale, you can tinker with the scale if you need to. I needed to because mine was too big. But yeah, so you just kind of tinker with things. So you can move this primitive around. This is the water source, so if I move it here, the water's going to pour from here. And there's a bunch of settings that you can use. There's the volume flow rate density. This controls how much liquid is going to pour out. Obviously, the higher you go, the more water there's going to be. You can change continuous generation or fill, so this would just do like one quick burst, and then that's all the water you're going to get. That's what I did for the blood, specifically. But there's many different things that you can do in here and tinker with. A couple things I forgot to mention is the texture for the blood inside of liquid gen. What you want to do is delete this white water as well, and for liquid appearance, drag out and just click appearance, and just like that you'll have a different texture on here. And then you just want to go in, put in a darker red, because you're gonna go into Blender and change the texture anyways, so this is just for your like own eyes sake for now. It doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to look like blood. So this is what my liquid gen scene looked like. My first scene, I had two scenes. So I set this one up first, and then I just saved this file as, and then made it a second file, and then did the other version, because I did these in two separate layers. These aren't both one. Let me go in here. This splatter is a separate version, and the pouring out is a different version. So it's two different sims put together. So the pouring out from the back was the first sim that I did, which is just a really simple pour out. I'll just scroll through some of the settings there so you can see them if you need them. Voxel size is choose 0.025. Emitter, I think I already clicked on this one. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I did for the first one, and for the second one, it is just a cube right above his head where the impact is, and then I set the speed to -10, so it slams right into his face and splashes right back up. And then I just tinkered with the direction of where it's gonna go. So you use these as like a guideline of which direction is where, just in case you need that. And boom, splat. Once you're done doing whatever you gotta do, you just come over here, export mesh, make sure it's Alembic number of frames, set it to however many frames you need. I needed 160, so that's what I'll export. And you'll notice down here, it'll change on your timeline right here, so you know it's changing. So 180, 160, you see that bar moving. And then you go here, set your directory where you want it to export to. Make sure you have enough space, because each of these were 5-6 gigabytes each, so like 12, 13 gigs just alone in the blood. And yeah, and also give it a file name, and then you just click export, and then it'll just export it. And then once you export it, you come back into Blender, file, import Alembic, and then you just import it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. It just takes a little bit of tinkering, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. Yeah, that's it. Another thing is, if you need to move the Alembics in Blender, I suggest taking the blood and then taking a null, and then just parent object keep transform, so that you can take the locator and move the blood around if you need to. It just helps to have a little bit more control over it. For the blood material, I went online and I came across this Reddit thread for realistic blood material. Thank you to Tacky Eknom for this. It looks really good. So this is basically what it is. It's just a principled BDSF. Everything is turned off. If you want, you can add a little bit of sheen to it, but I personally didn't. Put the roughness down to 0, or give it a little bit just because it might be a little bit too hot pixely. And then add a volume absorption with red color and put the density to 250, and you'll be golden. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the dust textures. It's really simple. When you come into your VDB, there'll be nothing here. You'll just click add, and it'll automatically add a principled volume for you, and I just left the settings default. If you want, you can turn the density up more or less, and just tinker with the color a little bit, and that's pretty much it.